So Zeke, I had to look something up because you use it all the time and I didn't think it was a real tasting note. And I have to apologize because you're right about something that I'm wrong about.
I'm interested to see where this goes, especially with my vocabulary.
I looked up the term blanched because you use blanched all the time. And I was like, is he talking about that girl from the Golden Girls? Like, what is he talking about? That would have been so much better if you actually spit up your drink, which almost happened. He's holding it in, ladies and gentlemen, with everything he can right now. But for people like me that don't know this, blanching is a cooking process in which a food, usually a vegetable or fruit, is scalded in boiling water, removed after a brief timed interval, and finally plunged into ice water or placed under cold running water to halt the cooking process. It's kind of like charring a barrel, but for fruit and vegetables.
That's interesting because I always think of blanched is just like it also kind of mutes things. It does something to the flavor. To me, it's like when you taste something and you get enough to know or like get a sense of the aspirations of what it could have been, or you've tasted before what it could have been in your mind. And it's like that, all right, I got somewhere between 20 to 50% of the flavor I really wanted or expected. And I felt like it could have gone there. It just never hit its growth spurt. But at least that's what I always think of in that term.
It's what so many people have called you throughout the years.
I'm taller than you, thank you.
No, just somebody that could have reached their full potential, but just stopped at a certain point.
Look here, bud. I figured out early on, the less people expect out of you, the easier it is to impress them.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards, and with me, as always, is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. Say hello to the folks, Blanche Baker.
Hello, and even funnier fact that I'm 99% sure you had no clue of. Either my granddad's mother or grandmother was named Blanche.
I worked with a Blanche.
I mean, is that what you called her, or that was her name?
That was her name.
Oh.
Fun fact, Blanche was played by Rue McClanahan.
We don't ever have to mention the Golden Girls here again, and I won't complain.
I'm just saying, every time you bring it up, I think of Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls. That's not a name or term you hear or use very frequently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see names all the time, and I'm like, obviously in the pharmacy I have to write down a birthday or something, and I'm like, hold on. How old's this person? You telling me you named a 4-year-old Ruth?
I think of certain things like I don't want to be Munsoned in the middle of nowhere, or I don't want my phone to be messered. Like there's so many things that could happen, and there are certain names that just trigger something for me.
I think we all have those moments.
You know when you can really have a moment?
Not with anybody named Blanche. Let's be honest here. If I call you up, Edwards, guess what? Blanche. Turning those ears off immediately. You're not going to open the picture.
I was going to say you could have a moment if you go to caskcartel.com because they are changing the industry standard for how you get your alcohol. They're the premium spirits marketplace. It's like the Amazon of the spirits industry. That's a lot of things that I just spit out off the top of my head, Zeke. It's not even written down, but it's a lot of taglines. So I gave you 4 taglines for caskcartel.com. Premium spirits marketplace, like the Amazon of the spirits industry. They're changing the industry standard, and you can't get anything blanched there. Go to caskcartel.com. It's a convenience play this time of year. They always have some allocated stuff. You don't have to sit out, camp out. You could just go there. It's going to cost more, but your regular drinkers, you will find just similar prices to what you would get in the store for them. Also, go to Cask Cartel on Instagram. They're always doing awesome giveaways for their followers. Thank you for supporting Dad's Drinking Bourbon, caskcartel.com. It's getting closer to the holidays. Every day is another day closer to the holidays, Zeke.
True. But, while we're on this word association game, very simply, tag makes me think of like a skin tag or like a hemorrhoid tag. And although you can't have that area blanched, you can sure have it bleached.
Have you done that?
No. Have you?
No, look at me. Do you think that that's going to make a difference in how I look at all?
I mean, I don't know. You like lattes, smoothies, walks at the gym,
You think I like this stuff.
Lululemon?
I don't like Lululemon. I work my ass off at the gym, and I drink a protein shake when I get home that I make myself.
You got your theory. I got mine.
You have a theory, but obviously the fact that my arms don't fit in my shirt anymore shows that my theory is right and your theory is bullshit. You have nothing to say to that because I'm right.
Well, my theory was in your infinite free time when we took like a week and a half off from putting shows out, you were going to like Gap and getting mediums and then cutting the sleeves off all those shirts and then sewing them onto your regular t-shirts.
You think way too much. You have way too much time to think because if you think I have the time to go to Gap, you're wrong.
Hey, man, people think I'm geek.
That's the dumbest thing ever. But you think geek is Kaysen, which is even more dumb.
He plays a role.
He might play a role, but it's not him.
Well, I don't want to hear any more about your role play.
I might play a role in it too. It's not me. I might just feed information, like your golf score, all sorts of stuff like that.
That was the funny part. We didn't keep score. It was that bad of a damn day.
I just was told that you had a white polo shirt with a black pullover and you scored under 100.
Parts of that true.
Yeah, when Yamada told me that you got 4 pars in a row.
4? No.
He said you got 4 pars in a row, and I was like, there's no way.
I think I might have had 3 the whole round. Sheesh.
I'm thinking like,
High five Yamada.
Anyways, it is getting closer to the holidays. Go ahead and go to premiumbarproducts.com. It makes a great gift for your favorite whiskey drinker. You can laser etch on their barware, their glassware. They have all sorts of cool stuff. The Neat Glass, the Tua Glass, Glencairn. They have the Kenzie Glass, the Wee Glen, the Tipsy Rocks. All sorts of good stuff at premiumbarproducts.com. If you are a whiskey group or a store or a distillery and you want to do more of a wholesale thing, reach out to me. I will get you in touch with the good folks over at premiumbarproducts.com and you can do a wholesale order. You can also get the official Dad's Drinking Bourbon Glencairn at premiumbarproducts.com. We are talking about Russell's Reserve 2003.
Is it kind of like Space Odyssey?
It is like Space Odyssey. And that I'm very surprised you had that reference.
Dude, that literally just Will Ferrell momented right into my head. It was not planned at all.
So this sample, in full transparency, was given to us from our friend Andy Brennan, who is the Campari rep. So Andy, thank you very, very much.
Well, and I'll even throw in an extra, shameless plug for, Andy Campari. And then obviously our comrade, Michael Hines, Matt Damon, that couldn't be here tonight.
You almost call him Michael Hines.
And
that's your boyfriend there.
Ever since MSP pulled that move. But so I've been tinkering around with some of these NBC single barrels. Somewhere there's a good cocktail with some Grand Marnier and maybe one other thing.
Have you tried Campari?
They sell Grand Marnier.
I know, but there is an actual thing called Campari.
Oh.
It's red.
Look here now, boy.
I'm just saying, it's red. It's called Campari.
I like tinkering with what I know.
Do you want me to give you some Campari to take home?
Nope.
Okay.
You've already ruined it for me.
I like to ruin things for you.
Because if I say, Edwards, help me with this blend, I'm not even winning.
Anyways, we are drinking Russell's Reserve 2003. This took a minimum of 16 years to age in Tyrone warehouses. This is the very last of the 107 barrel entry proof wild turkey. People have said this is similar to cheesy gold foil. I'm not going to put ideas in your head. It's barrel strength at 89.5 proof. And remember that 107 barrel proof sitting in the barrels for so long, it's going to go down. Sometimes, some places it goes up. The Tyrone warehouse, it goes down.
Occasionally both happen.
Occasionally both happen. It's 3,600 bottles or $250 MSRP. What did you get on this, Zeke Baker?
Well, before we even dive into the nuts and bolts of this,
You got to start doing this before I run down the stats. But
well, no, I need the stats.
Okay.
This is a follow-up to them. You've got Russell's Reserve 2003. A couple of years ago, we had 2002, correct?
Correct.
I do wonder where the planning was in this. 2002 was Nelson, correct?
Yes.
Where did Master's Keep Bottled and Bond come from?
I don't know. You're making me think it's almost midnight on a Saturday.
I think it was Tyrone too. But either way, my interesting thought process was, that's equally as aged. What, it's 17 year that Master's Keep was this year?
Yes, sir.
So 17 years at 100 proof. This is only 16 barrel proof. It's still 89.5. I just think on paper, if you look at all aspects of this, and I'm not even going to throw in the whatever proof of the 2000 Russell's Reserve 2002 was, if you're going to bourbon nerd out, those are very interesting facts and numbers that show extreme diversity over ricks and over floors and what time will do to that. Again, and that's without even tasting. I just think if you looked at that on paper, you'd think, hold on. And then you're going to scratch your head or your ass or both and like just look at it for a second and take it all in.
With our own Master's Keep Bottled and Bond, we took the historic process of aging 4 years to the next level and allowed the liquid to rest for 17 years. We aged and perfected this rare 17-year-old bourbon in Wild Turkey's Camp Nelson rickhouses.
So it was Nelson like 02. Okay. I knew it was one of them, but still, that's a ton of barrels come out of the same rick or area over there. And I don't know. I mean, I don't always get excited about this, but I think it's neat to look at it on paper and you see 3 separate, almost hyper-aged releases with very different dynamics from the same place.
I think it's neat that they're trying different things constantly.
I don't even know if it's trying. I mean, it's not like this is a certain blend or a cocktail. I think this is, Mother Nature almost saying, here's your lob, spike it on home.
Or they use what they have. They take every variance that they are allowed to with what they have. They're not changing the foundation, but they might be changing the shutters and the drapes and the curtains and all that kind of stuff.
Or to a degree, even though it's not on a turkey theme, quote unquote, they're going whole hog and putting everything they have to use.
We are 18 minutes into this, which I know I'm going to cut down by the time we get to it, but where are you with this stuff, Zeke?
Alrighty. Russell's Reserve 2003, 16-year juice, 89.5. The first thing I put down was just good aromatics. Obviously, that's vague. Apologies, but come into this for 16 years in the proof, I may or may not have been expecting a whole lot to come out of the glass at me. And this really did well. Trying to pinpoint things, I would go with honeydew, orange, a very musty vanilla to a degree. And then, honestly, this doesn't sound very flattering, but it's what I kept coming back to. It reminded me of like a 3 to 5 day old flower bouquet. And it's like a bouquet, like an arrangement. So you've got more than one smell coming off of there. But then also you've got where it's been in the vase for 3 to 5 days. There's a little bit growing there in the neck where it gets kind of tight, especially if you water it a time or two. And
you're a vase, not vase guy?
I didn't know what was going to come out. I just said the word. I didn't know.
It's like pecan versus pecan.
Exactly. I mean, in 10 minutes, I'll say vase. But either way, like, you know what I mean, though? Like you smell the flowers initially and then below it where that neck kind of creeps into it.
But I wouldn't even say that. It's like, I would say day 3, it's a little more pungent than it is on day 1 because it's really got to sit there and spread its way across the house. It's not even the neck. It's like by day 3, it's at the peak of when you're smelling it.
Well, it was pungent. It just had an I've been here a while aspect. That's why I kind of went with 3 to 5 day window. I don't know. Everybody's house is different. You leave in the light versus the dark, you get different stuff, just like bourbon. All kinds of analogies right here, bub. Might have been a simile. I used like.
That is a simile you use like or as.
-1 Zeke. Palate wise, again, it's just the diversity here was very interesting to me. I put down that it was oily yet soft. It definitely has a Wild Turkey, rye grain kick at the back. To a degree, it almost feels like it's a bit oxidized, but then at the same time, there's enough rye kick there to where it's not. The back end definitely isn't a funk. What I kind of finally really decided on was it just almost a licorice or an anise profile to a degree. I'll go ahead and throw this out there, Edward, just so you can, think about it while you're rattling down the notes you've already written. If I was going to compare this to a older turkey release, I'm going with Decanter 8101 juice, not CGF.
I would agree with you 100% on that. It's not CGF to me.
Which is in its own right kind of even more remarkable to, not necessarily replicate, but I mean, those things, who knows what else imparted differences in that juice? Was it the lead? Was it the fact it was a decanter and it wasn't airtight? Who knows what else happened to him over the years? But that's really where my mind went.
Funny thing for me on this is it was amazing because we opened up this sample. It was amazing how much it moved in 10 minutes for me on the nose. When I first poured it, I was like, not a whole lot here. In 10 minutes, got a whole bunch of black licorice. I wrote as a note, this isn't the follow-up to CGF, but got a fair amount of oak, licorice, vanilla, but you're right. I mean, it reminds me more of the split than it does of CGF. My biggest problem with this release is not the taste, but the price. I don't think this is $250. I'm not going to pay $250 for this. That's just me where I stand, because you can go get one of those 8101s for $150. If it's at $250 and you're trying to make it CGF, what's CGF at? Is it still at $5.50? What is it now?
Coincidentally, the day it went to 7+ was the day after I sold my last spare for $5.50.
I thought it was $5.50.
ML. But what else you get note-wise on this, man? It makes sense that you got the licorice and the anise for sure. I just feel like, at least for me personally, when I went through this, the mind has to race to other various turkey releases, other products we've had. I mean, they've put out some old juice very recently that there's a lot of variance there where I feel like you just kind of, if you taste it, you let the mind wander, and even if you don't have it blind necessarily, but you tell yourself it's turkey. And then you say, well, which one? I don't know. I had fun with this.
I had a lot of fun with it. I just don't have $250 worth of fun with it.
Again, I had the same, deductive reasoning you did of, as long as I can still go out and get an 8101 decanters, hopefully the fill level is accurate on it and it's cheaper. I go that route all day. Granted, you can't, bomb one of them or you get lead poisoning, but
there's so much in this world that's going to kill us. I'm not worried about a little lead at this point.
Oh, I throw that out as a shits and giggles.
I know you do. I'm just saying at this point, lead's not killing me.
But I do think it's funny, that
lead might be protecting me at this point.
Something's got to protect that head.
I know. It's already dented.
Funny, definitely, to see the commentary to CGF. And it's not like I was trying to, find a way to link it to it or block it out. But 9 times out of 10, if not more, as soon as I taste this, I immediately just go to that decanter juice, and whatever's there is what's in this. And I guess thinking about it maybe in a new light as well, maybe those things aren't oxidized. Maybe they didn't leak. Maybe this is just what some of that old juice had in it.
I think at $175, I would still hate to pay it, but I would still pay it for this.
Well, and, the proof makes it tough on the taters these days.
The proof does make it tough on the taters, but I think that you think about something that goes in the barrel at 107 proof, comes out at 89.5. You kind of look at this from a rational standpoint. I'm okay paying this. I'm not okay paying $250 for sub 90 proof. I'm not.
So that's the initial price. Some things go up, some don't. Some just kind of get overlooked. I think as time moves on, this will be like an almost time capsule type product. I don't think this is going to come around again. And obviously they've said it's the end of the juice and into that proof. But I think even past that, the notes and the nuances that are there. Again, like first thing I got, oily yet soft. I don't remember writing that much. I don't think that too often. I mean, it's an almost an opposites, but it has it, I think. I'm not jumping up and down to pay $250 either. I'm just saying, if you want to go more nostalgia, or in the grand scheme of things, like how unique would this be as a product? I think the needle moves up pretty high on the scale, especially for stuff put out in 2020, year of God knows what the hell we dubbed this. But I mean, folks are dropping an ounce of honey and 24 ounces of Stag Junior and selling a $3.75 for $2.50.
Problem is, Wild Turkey 101 is still on the shelf. Wild Turkey Rare Breed is still on the shelf.
Those don't taste like this. The decanters you can find, I'll give it.
They don't taste like this, but is the disparity $200?
I mean, the only way you're going to get the 101 that's on the shelf right now to taste like this is if you take the same pair of socks you wore to the gym Monday through Friday, and then you filter it through it.
I wear different socks every day.
I'm just impressed you go to the gym every day.
No days off.
But no, I mean, like, again, you and I are on the same side of the coin here about the $2.50. That's a tough price point, but
I hate to say it's just infects my mind at this point where I don't know if I can get past it. It's like, finding out that you had an ex-girlfriend that dated somebody that you hate and you know that they've been with them and you can't get past it. You're like, yeah, but like in Office Space, he couldn't get past the Lumberg thing.
No, you just got to catch them at the right time and say who was better. And by right time, I mean one of those moments where they're not going to lie to you because they're laying next to you. That'll help you sleep at night.
This whole release makes me think it slept with Lumberg.
I mean, definitely slept in lumber.
Anyways, I think, Zeke, you're a buy. I'm a bar.
I don't know if I'm a buy. Man, it would be tough.
I mean, it's good. It's good. That's the problem is it's good. It's not $250 good to me. I'm getting a decanter every time.
If I see it at Costco, I'm much more inclined. I'll leave it at that. Other than price, and as much as I hate the term, but I'm not.
I mean, it's a fair show.
No, I was going to say I'll let this slide simply because I'm not using this on our tasting notes because I absolutely hate the, checks the boxes for tasting notes. But as far as unique whiskey, drives a conversation, can't find it again. This hits those. I mean, it's there.
If you're rich, buy 3.
No, it's not even rich. I mean, $2.50 is not absurd in this day and age. Sad but true.
$2.50 is going to buy me a dog bed. I got dogs coming.
Do they know you're going to share the bed with them?
Not yet. Somebody's got to cuddle with me.
It's always fun once we have a show go out to, get some commentary and hear what people think. And, some we know we're going to get one comment, some we might get 12 or whatnot. As this release comes out, as folks have it, either they crack one they bought or they get it at a bar. I'd really want to see the analysis, I guess, that comes in or the perspective on this one. I think it's going to be all across the board.
I can't wait to see either. But for now, I'll get this at a bar.
Yeah, I would easily chip in the bar price to have it and, bullshit with somebody for a good 30 minutes, 45.
Do you know where people can find us? I mean, if you find this at a bar, you can find us on Facebook at Dad's Drink Bourbon. Where else?
Oh, I thought you meant the 16 hours out of the day when you weren't at the gym getting smoothies.
Not getting smoothies at the gym. They cost too much. Can you find us on Twitter?
I'm told that. I don't know the account, but I'm told we're there.
Twitter, Bourbon Dads.
Oh.
Instagram.
I know that one. I got password access. Whoa, hit me up on the side.
What is it?
I don't know. It's in my phone.
It's at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, not our password.
Well, that's in my phone too.
Find us wherever you download your podcasts. Chances are you already have because you're already listening to us right now. Please leave us an open and honest review. Like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. That actually helps us. Thank you to Andy for sending this sample our way. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Nashville, Tennessee, and maybe in the surrounding areas over the next few weeks. We've got a few, projects coming up, hopefully.
I know I'm going to Kentucky. I'm going to East Tennessee.
I think I'll be in Kentucky soon, too.
I know. Lots of stuff going on. Cheers.
Ciao.